Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. Today we have a very exciting video. I have finally received my residency card for the EU. I waited 364 days, so almost a year since the day that I arrived in Portugal, which means that I am now able to travel to another country in the EU. So tomorrow we are going to be making a trip up north to Vigo, which is in the northern part of Spain. It's not very popular destination, but we're going to go check out some of the places, and I'm going to show you I'm going to try at least the Tesla Supercharger in Spain. There's a supercharger in Vigo, 250 kilowatts. I will show you going there, charging, and then driving back. To be fair, from Porto is not very far. It's only about 155 kilometers. I will need to charge because I'll be going there and back. So I might be able to do it in one full trip, but I'll have to drive very slow. So I'm not going to risk it. And while we are there, we are going to check out the city of Vigo. So stay tuned in the video and we'll show you around the city of Vigo. We are also going to try a karting track. There's a karting track and a water kart or jet ski track basically at the same place. And we're going to try that out as well. So we'll show you what we're going to be doing. I'll show you what we need to do before we go. So I'm going to be doing all the pre-checks. I'm going to also check what is required to drive into Spain with a Portuguese number plate. As far as I could tell, there wasn't anything special. I did look at the tolls already, but if I find out anything else, I will mention it later in this video. So we're finally getting to travel around Europe and living up to the channel's name. Thank you for all your support thus far. If you like this type of content, if you like this video, remember to subscribe and click the like button. If you have any suggestions or questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I will try my best to get back to you. So this is a very exciting day for us as we will finally be able to travel around Europe. We moved to Portugal. If you want to know the reason why we moved to Portugal from South Africa, check out my previous video where I talk a little bit about myself. But we moved here with the primary reason of, traveling more, exploring since we're still young. And I think this is going to be our first step. We are probably also going to be meeting friends in Germany next month in December. So stay tuned for content from there. I don't think I'm going to be driving there this time because it's going to be a quick trip. So I might rent a car, maybe another exciting EV. If there's anything specific that you think I should be renting, leave it in the comments below as well. But I'm quite keen to try out some of the BMW EVs when we are in Germany. So without further ado, I'll switch over to later today or tomorrow where I'll show you what we do to prepare for our trip to Spain tomorrow. Okay, so before we go on our trip tomorrow, I'm just going to check what's in my trunk. Okay, there's a few things that I need to sort out, like my shoes need to come out, and I'm going to keep that in there because I'm going to the karting track. I need to bring this up so I can put my suit in it. And then camera equipment is there, and there's actually my camping equipment, and I just need to make sure my safety bag is still here. So this is the safety bag. I haven't actually taken anything out of this, so it should be fine. Just got to make sure that you have all the safety equipment. So this is like the triangle, and as well as the Lumo suit that you need to wear in case you're breaking down on the side of the road. So basically that's my trunk, and I'm charging overnight tonight so I can get maximum charge for tomorrow's trip. And actually, like I recommended in the previous video, I delayed my software updates. So I have the software update and I'm hotspotting my phone right now. I am gonna do the software update now. There's actually quite an interesting update that I've been anticipating because this has been a big bane of my existence ever since it came out. So I think that the proximity trunk, hands-free trunk opening is really cool, but it got really annoying in my garage because what happened was every time I stood behind my car, it would start opening. And that's obviously not what I wanted. I actually wanted only to open when I intended to open, but because it doesn't know any other way, and when I walk past my car behind the car, it just opens in my garage. I don't want that. And they clearly know that this has been a problem. So they have actually provided an update to this. And let me take a look. So here's the software update. It is currently downloading still, but let's take a look at the release notes. The release notes basically show that it excludes home when using hands-free trunk. This is amazing. This means I can re-enable it again and it won't work in my garage. I'm not sure if these, I'm not sure if I've updated these yet, but you search this area, which is pretty cool. This is particularly useful if you're traveling a lot because you want to see, you know, restaurants, cafes or attractions, which you'll do in Google Maps anyways, but having it here on the big screen is great. Mobile app notifications for tire service. I've serviced my tire. If you haven't watched my video on that, you can watch it over here. So things to check, basically make sure that you're fully charged. Tire pressures, my tire pressures is correct, so 2.9 bar on all of them. Recommended 2.9 bar on mine, but I'm gonna let it charge overnight. I mean, it's only 30 minutes until full charge and I'm almost there ready. So yeah, I'm gonna install the software update once I can, and once it's possible for me to actually click the update, I'll update it. I'll make sure that this is before tomorrow. But yeah, I've got the software update preference on advanced, which means I get the update sooner than usual, I guess, because if you had it on standard, that'll be the usual behavior. Also, make sure you check the notifications in your car. So I've got this bell icon here, and you can see that my windshield washer fluid's low, so I guess I'm gonna have to refill that before we depart tomorrow, because I haven't been able to wash my window due to this. So make sure you always check what's under the notifications and if there's anything that you can sort out before you go on the trip. Also, I need to check what's in my bonnet or frunk. Let's take a look. So I did get my tire service recently, so I don't have to look at those, I guess. Okay, there's my charger. This is a participation award for a karting competition I went to. So the charger that I use at the public chargers, and yeah, nothing else. All my lights and stuff are all working. Nothing too much concern. All my tires are fine, and I still have these inserts removed because I'm gonna, as I said, mod them and wrap them in carbon fiber wrap and put them back, because I've got the carbon fiber cover for this middle part, which I think looks amazing. But yeah, nothing else to see. Everything's good. I don't have any chips on my windows or anything. So we are actually ready to go tomorrow. Once I do the software update, I mean, I'm not sure if it's gonna let me do it today, but if it doesn't let me do it by tonight, then I won't update it until I get back from Spain. We will see you guys tomorrow when we are ready to depart. Okay guys, we are finally departing. We are departing a little bit late, 1:24 p.m. We have some stuff to do this morning, but I'm navigating to the Vigo Supercharger in Spain. Vigo is in the region of Galicia. Galicia apparently has a similar culture to Portugal because it's quite close, and the language they speak is kind of similar to Portuguese apparently. So this is the first time I've ever been into Spain. It's gonna be an interesting experience. Anyways, the supercharger is 1 hour and 31 minutes away, 151 kilometers. It says that we will arrive with 47%. I currently have 100%, and the battery is preconditioning for fast charging. Remember, this is very important to navigate to your destination on the Tesla app or to navigate to a supercharger. So I navigated specifically to the supercharger this time because it didn't actually need to charge to get there. Because obviously I wasn't going any further, so it didn't think to stop me at the supercharger. But I want to go to the supercharger because I wanted to charge my car back to full before I come back home, since I want to give myself some safety margin in terms of charge. This supercharger is 250 kilowatts, so it's obviously the new V4 superchargers as far as I can tell. And basically we should arrive there at just before 3 p.m. What we're going to do is when we arrive, we're going to walk around the city of Vigo, have some lunch, and then we are gonna go to the karting track at San Shenso. I think that's how you pronounce it, San Shensu probably. And yeah, we're gonna check that out. I didn't actually know if it's open. I went to the listing to see on Google, and it didn't have much information, and there weren't any recent YouTube videos of the place, so I'm not sure if that's gonna be available. If it's not, there is another karting track on the way home or on the way to Spain as well, so maybe we'll stop there if we don't get to kart there. Anyways, on the way there, we are taking the A3 all the way up and then crossing the bridge at Valencia, which goes into Spain. I'm probably going to be using Navigate on autopilot most of the time because I love this feature, which allows me to sit back and relax and just look at the road without having to worry too much about the navigation. And yeah, so what we're going to do is I will show you guys this parts of this journey. I'll show you us crossing over the border for the first time into Spain, because I think that's pretty exciting. It's been a whole year coming for this. So yeah, so I've never actually driven here. This is going to be the first time experience driving my Tesla out of the country, which is pretty cool as well. So yeah, stay tuned, and when we arrive at Vigo Supercharger, I'll also do a range review of how many kilowatts I used, whether I drove more efficiently or whether I could have driven more efficiently, and to give you guys again a real world idea of how far the standard range Model 3 can take you if you are doing long distance trips like I am today. Okay, something that is interesting is that Tesla recently released this average speed camera alert, and basically I entered an average speed zone and it says that you've entered, and it shows you how far left for your average speed. And in the beginning I was way too high, so I actually slowed down the autopilot, as you can see, and basically I'm now at average 107 and there's 1 kilometer remaining, so I can slow down even a little bit more. I think there's a leeway. I think you can go up to 110, but let's just not risk it for now. But yeah, ever since they installed this, it's been really great, because it's one thing to slow down before the speed trap and another thing to actually slow down in the average speed zone, especially since it's not very clear how fast you are going in the speed zone, but having this indicator is very useful. Okay guys, we are finally entering Spain. As you can see, it says España 200 meters, so that means once we pass this bridge, halfway past this bridge is crossing into Spain. So we are still in Portugal right now, and this is the bridge and this is the river that separates Portugal and Spain. And here we are finally in Spain. Now the signs and everything can change. Wow, okay. So yeah, we are finally in Spain. Welcome to Spain, guys. These signs look very different to the Portuguese one. It's like a different font. Interesting. And I'm not going to be able to read anything. Not that I could read Portuguese fully, but I think it's going to be similar. So I think I should be able to understand a lot of it. But basically we are on the A55 highway in Spain. Wow, it actually looks a little bit different. Like the colors of the things on the road are different. I mean, I've never seen, have you seen blue bridge signs? I mean, never seen that before. Yeah, it definitely feels very different. Wow, this is so cool. The font on those signs are comical. It looks like a serious version of Comic Sans compared to the Portugal signs. The Portugal signs are actually quite similar to the South African ones, so I was quite used to them. But these signs look, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I mean, obviously some of you guys are from Spain, so what do you guys think about the Portugal signs that you guys have been seeing in my videos? My autopilot stopped working. One of my cameras stopped working again, the one on the bottom left here, but I've been driving manually. I've been driving a little bit fast on some sections, so energy usage has been pretty high. And also, when your car is preconditioning, it does use quite a bit of charge to precondition, because what it does is it uses the battery to heat up the battery itself so that it can accept charge much faster when you get to the supercharger. So that's also another reason, if you are navigating and it does take you to the supercharger and you see your consumption a bit high, that is very normal, and actually the amount that you lose will be gained very quickly at the supercharger if you are supercharging. So just bear that in mind. Don't navigate to a supercharger if you have no intention to go to the supercharger. You'll just end up wasting energy and wasting money, basically, because you're not going to be able to get it back. We will show you around when we get into Vigo, and I'm just going to drive and enjoy take everything in. I did ask one of my Portuguese friends whether I needed to do anything before entering Spain, and he said no, you can just drive over. And I asked him about tolls, and I did check this before. The tolls do seem to be manually operated as well, so I can pay, because in Portugal I have Via Verde, so I don't have to pay at the toll gate. I just need to drive through and then I get a statement at the end of the month. This was kind of a concern for me because in Algarve there are toll booms that are unmanned, so it's only electronic tolls, and you have to pay them either at the post office afterwards because it registers your number plate, or you have to have Via Verde. So I actually didn't know how the Spaniards would pay if they had come in with their Spanish plates. So I was concerned that was going to be a problem for me entering Spain. And I asked my friend who has actually been here, and he said that no, there's no problem, and the toll gates are manned. So no problems today in terms of toll. And I've been noticing funny sounds while I've been driving, and I realized that yesterday I turned on audible sounds for changing of speed limits, and that's what the sounds have been. So when it goes da-ling, da-ling, it's like a change of speed limit. So just now we went from 80 to 120. It seems like the speed limit, max speed limit here seems to be the same as Portugal, 120 kilometers an hour, and it actually says here 100 minimum speed, so you have to be between 100 and 120. Thank God, you know, all these things are quite similar worldwide, because imagine going to a place and the numbers on the speed limits are no longer Arabic numerals and it's just like whatever country's language. I'd be so confused. But thank God Tesla has it here translated for you. Interesting fact, when I was in America, I don't know what miles per hour are, and I changed the speed indicator on my car to be kilometers per hour so I can get a gauge of what I'm driving. It actually translates the speed limit from miles per hour to kilometers in the American signage, which is quite funny. So yeah, so great technology, especially if you're driving in a foreign country. Did you guys hear that? I don't know if you can hear that on the thing, but that was a reduction from 120 to 110. Anyways, I'll see you guys at the supercharger and I'll do a range review, and we'll see you just now. Okay, the Tesla Supercharger, it says it's over here. So I'm in the parking of this mall, and I basically just have to go find the supercharger. These, man, it's overexposed, but you can see what I mean here. There you go. Cool. So basically it's on this side, so let's keep going. Looks like it's on that side. Yeah, so we're gonna explore the mall and then we're gonna go for like walk around. Oh, it's right here. Nice. Okay, cool. So I can't auto park because my camera is not working. I'm gonna park on this one. I'm not splitting with anyone. So I thought this was a V4 superchargers, but it's not. It's just the V3 with 250. Well, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but the ones that don't look like this with a hole in the middle, those are the ones that are the new ones. But yeah, welcome to Spain, guys. Let's take a look. If I plug it in to see if everything's working. The supercharging in Spain is slightly more expensive than in Portugal, but thanks to you guys, I don't actually have to pay because I am using my credits. So I'm gonna plug my car in now. Let's do a range review before I do that. Okay, so in the past hour and 27 minutes I drove 153 kilometers, so the average speed will be displayed on the screen, and I did 192 watt-hours per kilometer. Granted, I was not driving slow when the autopilot went away, so that is what caused it to be higher. I did drive 16.7% higher than rated, and according to the trip estimate, I actually only burned 2% more, which isn't too bad. As you can see, battery conditioning used 1.9%, underrated. Yeah, so driving basically used 17% more. I arrived with 46%, and I basically drove 153 kilometers, so I would only be able to drive slightly less than 300 kilometers theoretical. But let's plug it in and see if this works the same way as in Portugal, and it should. Let's take a look how long it's gonna charge for. Okay, so 30 minutes remaining to 100. Wow. Oh wow. It is charging. Oh, okay, there's not the full speed yet. It's at 60 kilowatts. Let's let it go for a little bit before we head out. Okay, so it is speeding up quite dramatically because I did precondition. As you guys probably know, I have the standard range battery, the LFP battery, so it can only go up to 170 kilowatts. It can't go up to 250. I think the NMC battery, the long range, can go up to 250. So 170 will be the highest, and I won't be able to keep it at 170 for that long. So according to this, it says 30 minutes, but I know it's a lie because it's usually 30 minutes and then it gets to like 95%, and then the last 5% takes another 10 minutes. So we're just gonna go to the mall, get something to eat and some refreshments. But yeah, I'm gonna also, one last thing, I actually didn't update the software yesterday because it didn't allow me. So I'm actually going to try update it now while the car's charging, so we can get back the update and the charging is complete. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. Okay guys, I am gonna stop charging because the last few percent is just really long, and we just explored this mall. It's kind of a small mall, but it has everything, all the big chains as you expect, like Zara and all the regular chains that we have in Portugal. But it is quite interesting. Quite surprised that the Spaniards actually look quite different to the Portuguese, and I could actually feel like I was in a different place, and someone opened the elevator for me and I just had a reflex to say obrigado, and then I was like, oh wait, it's gracias. So I said gracias instead. So yeah, it's been, I mean, we've only been here for like an hour and it's been quite an interesting experience. Like, I think we've also been stuck, unable to travel for a year, so just experiencing something so different has been quite interesting. Anyway, so that last charge got up to 98%. It was about 20 minutes, not too long, and now we are going to go to a restaurant in the central part of Vigo. It is called Cafe, what is it called? Kuka. And it is about 700 meters from here, so we're going to go check it out. We're going to have lunch over there. It's just going to be closed when we arrive. I'm going to check Google. Anyway, so we charged to 98%. I'm not going to charge anymore, and I'm not going to be navigating to any superchargers, so no more preconditioning. And I'm going to use this charge till I get home later today. So let's see, without preconditioning, if I will get closer to the rated range. I'll also try and drive a little bit slow on the way home and just take a relaxing drive. But yeah, thanks for taking this journey with us. If you guys like this video so far, remember to click the like button and subscribe, and leave any questions or comments you have in the comment section below. So here we're visiting the castle O Castro in Vigo, and it's got a spectacular view over the ocean and interesting monuments all over. Unfortunately, we weren't allowed to go into I think it's the castle itself on top, because dogs weren't allowed, so we had Finley with us, so he couldn't come with. And there's a nice garden that surrounds us, and behind those trees, as you'll see just now, is the CS Islands. Here's Finley enjoying the view from just outside the entrance of O Castro. The waters are very clear blue around the islands, and we'll definitely be visiting next time. Parking, and I parked over there, but I noticed this yellow line versus the blue ones, and I googled it, and it does say something here, loading and unloading. So I think this is only for loading and unloading. I'm not actually supposed to park here. So if you're in Spain and you see these broken yellow lines, there's some sort of restriction. You can't park, only on the blue, as far as I know. We got to walk around the city of Vigo, and it was quite nice. A lot of the Christmas decorations were up already, so it looks like there's a lot of street Christmas festivities, even more so than Porto at this time of year. I think in Porto is a bit later. And then there was multiple concerts happening around the city this Saturday, which we weren't aware of, and we were actually blocked off from our route back to the car, so we had to take a long walk, which is also why we couldn't go to the karting track. Hey guys, so we are heading back home now from Vigo. We kind of got sidetracked in Vigo because we arrived at a strange time. I didn't realize that a lot of the places would be closed between like 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 5 or 6, because it's not like that in Portugal normally. So the place that we wanted to go eat was only open at 5:30, so we ended up like walking around, going somewhere else, and then we ended up walking like probably up to 10 kilometers around Vigo, so we got to check out a lot of it. We went to have dinner at this interesting place. Wait a minute, I just need to figure out, oh, that's the electronic one. Okay, I need to pay. The times in Spain are very different to the times in Portugal. Like, it seems like things go off, but my Viavid went off. Oh, it opened. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the Viavid works here. Interesting. Okay. So I was not expecting that. I thought I had to pay, and there was actually no one there. So luckily I had the Viavid. I don't know if you guys heard the beep that went off. But basically, that's the Viavid thing over here that you pay subscription for. You basically just pay once off for it, and then you get a monthly bill at the end of the month to settle your tolls and parking. So what I've noticed in Spain is that everything closes a lot later. Some dinner places that we wanted to go to only open at 9 and like ends at like 1 a.m, which is very like not normal in Portugal. So yeah, so we did end up going to the karting track because I'm extremely tired now, so I'm not going to go karting today. So we're going to have to make another trip to San Sensia next time to check it out. But anyways, yeah, so we're going to make it back to Porto now. We left at about 8:30. It is 8:49 now, and it says we'll arrive back home in 1 hour and 20 minutes, 131 kilometers. As you can see, I am autopiloting. I'm probably going to be autopiloting most of the way, as long as nothing breaks. And you can see the adaptive headlights work pretty well at night. I haven't driven at night in a long time, actually, because since we moved to Porto, I haven't had to go anywhere by car most of the time, and at nights you wouldn't go long distances in Porto. So we're going to be driving back now, and when we get home I'm going to do a range review and to see how much range we used, and on the way back hopefully I can use autopilot all the way and there shouldn't be any problems, as long as one of the especially this camera on the left usually stops working for some reason, but if it stays working then I'll just keep autopilot on. I'll probably autopilot between 100 and 120 kilometers an hour just to see what range we get. I did earlier, I think I charged up to 98%, so it's not from 100%, but it should be a negligible difference. Anyway, so we'll see guys when we get to the other side. Okay, we just crossed the border into Portugal just now, and you can see that the signs are quite different. Font is definitely different, and around the signs there's always a wide rim, including the speeding signs, so the speed limit sign, so you can see the 100, the red doesn't go all the way to the outside, and the font definitely seems a bit bigger and less Comic Sans, in my opinion at least. I do think the signs seem a lot bigger as well, so I'm definitely more used to this. Obviously I've been seeing this for a year, and after living in Portugal for a year and getting to experience something different, it's quite exciting again, just to see, appreciate all the small little differences, hours that people usually go out, the signs, the way people act. It seems like people in Vigo don't really speak English, but they can understand Portuguese, so I was a little bit embarrassed because some words are similar between Spanish and Portuguese, but some words are definitely not the same. But they did seem to understand if I said the Portuguese word and then I Google Translate afterwards to make sure to see if the sign was the word was the same in Spanish, and it wasn't. So I think this might be a Galician specific thing of the north, because everyone definitely speaks Spanish. I think a lot of them do understand Portuguese because of the proximity. Probably they travel a lot between the two countries as well, being so close to the border. Earlier when I was purely autopiloting at about 120 kilometers an hour, it was actually pretty low, so I think we should get close to probably within 20% or 10% margin of the rated range. So we'll see you guys back at home. If you enjoy the travel aspect of the videos, please let me know, and let me know if you have any specific comments on what you think I should include, especially now that we're going to be traveling a lot more and visiting different places, and we'll try to take that into consideration when making the videos for you. So we arrived back home, and you won't believe it, it still hasn't updated the software, so I still have not received the exclude home using hands-free trunk yet, but I guess I'll get that whenever I do. And basically in the last drive I drove 164 kilometers. I used autopilot most of the way, and it was 1 hour and 49 minutes, and this basically used up 164 watt-hours per kilometer, which was very close to projected trip, which was 49 or 48.8 I think, because it was 0.3% more, and I arrived with 45.3%. No battery conditioning, like I said, because I wasn't navigating to a supercharger, but it was a lot more elevation, so that used most of the extra energy. And compared to rated range, I used 7.9% more. With 164 watt-hours per kilometer, this is the theoretical range, and we really enjoyed our first trip out of Portugal, out of the country, and into Spain. It was very interesting. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do much today, but hopefully we'll bring you guys a lot more content around every single trip that we go to. Next week I'm actually going to Portimao for a karting competition. I think it's the road tax finals, so I'm going to be watching one of my friend's son compete. So I will also do a range test from Porto to Portimao, and we will be able to see what the range is like and how many charging stops is required, because from here to Portimao is pretty far. I think 500 kilometers. I must just double check. And yeah, so thank you guys again for watching and following our journey. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything that you like to see, or if you guys have any questions. And remember to click the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you guys again next time.